While we were in Florida, we spent a full day open to past close at Epcot. I walked nearly 30,000 steps. We rode all the rides, but I also did 3 unique photo shoots, and I'm going to share those 3 photo shoots with you now. We are here at Epcot during the Flower and Garden Festival, and they also have a butterfly area here. And I brought the R5 Mark II and the 100 to 500. I'm going to see if I can get some butterfly shots in here. They've got a net around this whole thing, but it's not warm. It's a cold day here in Florida. It's in the high 50s, low 60s, and I'm not seeing many butterflies. There's a butterfly garden at the Tennessee Aquarium, and it is hot in there. Even though there weren't many butterflies in there, I was still able to get a few shots. Here's the first shot, a 500 millimeter shot, f7.1. This is 1/160th of a second and 200 ISO of this beautiful butterfly at Epcot. This is the butterfly that came up and it landed on Heather, and then it flew over and landed on this leaf, and Heather called me over to show it to me. And I made this 500 millimeter shot at f7.1. 1/160th and 250 ISO. This was my favorite butterfly in the entire garden. Here's another butterfly at 500 millimeters, f7.1. I'm still at 1/160th of a second and 320 ISO. I like the juxtaposition of this leaf that comes up and curves to the right and this out of focus one in the background that does the same. Another shot of that same species. I don't think it's the same butterfly though. This was the most common species there in the butterfly garden. This one's 472 millimeters, f7.1. I've increased my shutter speed to 1/320th, and this one's 400 ISO. I love the soft blue in this butterfly. I had intended to make a lot of flower photos while we were at Epcot during the Flower and Garden Festival, but this was the only flower I photographed. A straight down at it shot, 500 millimeters, f7.1. 1/320th and 500 ISO. This is another shot of the butterfly that landed on Heather, just at a different angle. Most important is to get the eye in focus. And I've got the eye in focus with this wing drifting out of focus as it gets closer and this wing drifting out of focus as it gets further away. This is 428 millimeters, f6.3, 1/320th of a second, and 640 ISO. This is one of my favorite shots from the butterfly garden with this butterfly looking right at us. This is once again the butterfly that landed on Heather. 500 millimeters, f7.1, 1/320th of a second, and 800 ISO. Well, that was kind of disappointing, but we did find some butterflies, and I hope you enjoyed the photos. Hello, it's Phil Thatch, and I'm here in Epcot. Once again, the area near the Canada Pavilion is a great place to see white ibis. Here, let me show you. Right there, quite a few white ibis. And I've brought the Canon R5 Mark II and the 100 to 500 and have made a few shots of them for you today. Let's take a look. Here's my first ibis shot, and when I first started working on photography there, it was pretty cloudy and it made for really soft light, and that's probably the lake in the background. This is a 500 millimeter shot, f7.1, 1/500th of a second, and 400 ISO. Really love these super, super close-up shots you can get there at Epcot of these beautiful, wild, but somewhat tame white ibis. Here's another shot. Looks like this one's trying to gather some nesting material, 500 millimeters, f7.1, 1/500th of a second, and 400 ISO. And then I made another shot of the same bird. This is 2 or 3 shots later, doing the same thing, just carrying some nesting material. This one's 400 millimeters, where this one was 500. 400 millimeters, f6.3, 1/500th of a second, and 320 ISO. This is an immature white ibis. They turn all white when they get mature. 270 millimeters, 1/640th, f5.6, and 320 ISO. Great detail. Love that eye. Wow. That is really cool. Here's a white ibis. I think there's another one in the background, and I've got it done so high key, you almost can't tell where one bird stops and another one starts. This is 428 millimeters, f6.3, 1/640th of a second, and 320 ISO. I think I put a 16:7 crop on this one and thought it turned out really artsy fartsy. This is 500 millimeters, f7.1, 1/1600th of a second, getting a little bit more light now, and 500 ISO. Pretty good detail in there. Here's a pair of white ibis, one in pretty good focus and one completely out of focus. 363 millimeters, f5.6, 1/1600th of a second, and 500 ISO. Extreme close-up once again of this white ibis, 500 millimeters f7.1, 1/1600th of a second, and 800 ISO. Tons and tons of detail. You can actually see the fence that goes along the walking path, and then there's the fence, and the birds were in the grass on the other side of the fence, and you can see the fence reflected in this one's eye. Another shot of possibly that same bird just looking the other direction, 500 millimeters f7.1, 1/800th of a second, and 1000 ISO on this one. And now here's a 151 millimeter shot, so I could get the entire bird in the shot. That's definitely the lake in the background. 1/800th of a second, f5, and 250 ISO. Here's another extreme close-up, high-key shot of a white ibis, 500 millimeters f7.1, 1/800th of a second, and 640 ISO. You can see the fence a little bit in this shot as well. Another beautiful white ibis close-up, got a little monkey grass in the background as well as the lake behind that. 254 millimeters f5.6, 1/800th of a second, and 400 ISO. Another close-up from a slightly different angle than some of the other ones. This is 500 millimeters f7.1, 1/800th of a second, and 640 ISO. You can see the fence in this one as well. And another full bird shot. This one's at 128 millimeters, wide open at 4.5, 1/800th of a second, and 320 ISO. I was really concentrating on the close-up shots, but I thought I better get a few full bird shots. So just in case you're watching this and you don't know what an ibis looks like, you can see the whole bird. And now the sun has come out, and I got a shot of this ibis that was doing some preening and scratching. And I thought that the light now on the lake made the lake look absolutely beautiful. This is 1/2000th of a second, 472 millimeters f7.1, and 250 ISO. And then I got another shot of the same bird still preening. This time you can see its beautiful blue eye. The eye was closed in this shot, and I thought that the whole thing with the negative space over here looks really nice. Here's a juxtaposition shot in the bright sunlight, 400 millimeters f6.3, 1/2000th of a second, and 100 ISO. Of course, my focus is on this bird, and this bird is nicely out of focus in the background. And I thought it was interesting how their beaks kind of come down to almost the same point. And the blue water reflecting the sky looks really nice with these white birds. And one last ibis shot. It's the same two ibis that were in the last shot. This time they're still a juxtaposition shot, just not quite as much of one. And we still have the beautiful white bird with the beautiful blue background and the reddish pink beak and blue eyes. And this time we've thrown a little bokeh-fied monkey grass in the background as well. Just beautiful. Thanks for watching the second episode of the white ibis of Epcot. Hope you enjoyed it. It's really a cool place to get really up close photographs of those wild birds in this not so wild situation. All right, it's Epcot night and the park is closed. The fireworks just ended. Everybody's leaving, and I'm going deeper into the park. I'm going to the Prance Pavilion, where I'm going to try to make a photograph with the 14 to 35 on the R5 Mark II of the fountain that's back in the Ratatouille area. So hopefully when I get back there, which the ride's been closed for half an hour, hopefully when I get back there, there will be no people. And I'm going to try to make a handheld shot of it. I'm probably going to use automatic ISO and control my exposure with exposure compensation. This lens wide open is f4, but I'm probably going to shoot at f5 to try to make it as sharp as possible. So we'll see how this goes. But it's a really beautiful fountain, and I think it's going to look nice at night. But the reason you have to wait till after closing is because it's right by the Ratatouille ride, which has lots and lots of people. So like I say, again, I'm coming around the corner to where the fountain is. It's clearing out. There are some people, but not many. Let's see what I can do. Oh man, there are about 10 people right around the fountain. Y'all need to get on out of here. There's the fountain. Maybe you can see it down there. And that's where I'm heading. So come on, people, get on. Okay, so I don't know how successful I was with that. I was shooting at like 1/10 of a second to try to blur the fountain a little bit.
and it's hard for me to tell on the back of the camera. Plus everything's underexposed except for the lights, so the lights don't blow out and I'll have to lift everything, and we'll see how that looks right now.
This is the shot I got of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and the fountain out in front of it. And I'm not really all that happy with this. It's just a lot going on here. I was happy to have it with only 2 people in the shot. Usually there's hundreds of people around this thing. This is 26 millimeters f5 handheld at 1/40th of a second using the 14 to 35 f4L lens.
I stopped by the Japan Pavilion and made a quick shot of Spaceship Earth through this arch. Pretty cool shot. Don't know how well it's going to come out. Still shooting at 1/40th. I'm going to China now.
Now here's a shot in the Japan Pavilion looking all the way across the lake there and seeing Spaceship Earth at the entrance of the park in the background. This is a 16 millimeter shot, 1/40th, handheld f5 and 8000 ISO.
A shot of the USA Pavilion on the way by, still -3 stops and 1/40th auto ISO f5.
This is in the USA Pavilion at Epcot, 14 millimeters f5, 1/40th of a second, 1250 ISO handheld.
This building here in China is one that I really wanted to try to get a shot of. And, you know, this would be awesome to come here with a tripod and take a lot of time, but you don't really have that much time. But this was, I started at 1/40th and my ISO ended up at 6400. So I'll get it in the shot. So I ended up going down to 1/15th and a lot of places in between. And I'm not sure if I got a sharp shot or not, but hope I did. And if so, let's look at it.
This is one of the shots that I really wanted to get. The 2 shots were Remy's fountain and this shot in the China Pavilion. And I'm sort of happy with it. I wish it had turned out a little bit better. This is handheld at 1/15th of a second, 15 millimeters f5 and 3200 ISO.
I think this shot I just made of the Creations shop might be really cool. There's a lot of light on it, so it made for a good shot, I think. Let's take a look.
And then I got all the way back to the front half of the park, which more people were there because they were heading to the exit. And I thought this shot of the Creations gift shop came out fantastic. Maybe my favorite after dark shot. This is 14 millimeters, 1/100th of a second. Had more light here so I could speed my shutter speed up some. f5 and 320 ISO. I like the way the Creations shop came out so good that I went over to the other side of this area of Epcot and made this shot of Mickey and Friends. This is 21 millimeters, 1/100th, f5 and 160 ISO. Then I came back over to the side where the gift shop is and I went on down and made a photograph of the Connections Cafe. Love the way this turned out. There was one person walking by and he's got a little bit of motion blur in him and he's completely silhouetted. So I thought that looked good. 35 millimeters on the 14 to 35 for this shot, 1/100th of a second, f5 and 400 ISO.
Okay, thanks for watching Epcot photography after closing time with the R5 Mark II and the 14 to 35 f4L series lens. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, reach down, hit thumbs up. If you want to see some more weird stuff like this, subscribe, hit the bell. And as always, I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.